We are previewing Week 10 in college football here at SBR Forum Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. We're talking right now with one of my favorite returning guests, Indian Cowboy from DocSports.com. Indian Cowboy is the most watched sports handicapper of Indian descent on the entire internet. Indian Cowboy, thanks for being back with us.
Well, it's not just Indian descent, Pete. It's everywhere.
No, it's not including the white people.
Yeah, it is.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's the most watched in the country.
Including the white people?
Yeah, including all people with, all human beings.
Really? Including the Chinese ones and everything?
Well, the Chinese don't play football, so I guess they're irrelevant in my book.
The most watched handicap. Well, based on last week's video results, I can certainly see why, because those were two great picks. I agreed with you on both of them. I bet both of them very heavily. You liked Arizona in college and Miami in the NFL. Great pick on Arizona. They did win outright, as you suggested they might.
Yeah, it worked out. I mean, that's what we try to focus on, trying to take underdogs that can win outright and definitely try to fade the public every chance we get.
You're definitely getting a lot of supporters in these videos that you're making just with SBR. So the game you chose this week for college is Clemson-Duke. Duke is a 13.5-point home underdog. Now, well, first of all, you really wanted the Mississippi-Georgia game that I had to give to someone else. But I have to assume that you love Mississippi in that one, right?
Yeah, I do love Mississippi in that one, especially with it kind of ties into this, especially with Georgia coming off a nationally televised big victory. They're in a classic letdown spot in my book. And keep in mind that Mississippi lost to Alabama by 19 on the road. So if they can lose to the number one team in the country by 19 on the road, I think they can hang fine with Georgia with a possible letdown here.
No, I totally agree with you on that one, and I actually loved Georgia last week. And in a video that we previewed on SBR, I said that I did. I do agree that it's a letdown spot for Georgia. I don't think that we're seeing the same situation though with Clemson and Duke though. I don't think this is a letdown spot for Clemson necessarily. I mean, Clemson has been rolling. Over the mediocre teams they've been playing. And Duke is, they're sort of overachieving this year. I've liked to bet on them. I've been betting on them a lot this year and winning with them. I definitely am not going to bet them at plus 13.5 here, though. That makes me very nervous. I think they might have just overachieved for, half the season or 60% of the season, and now they're kind of just like spent. They've shot their load, and they're ripe to get steamrolled by a team like Clemson. But why'd you pick this game? What do you like here?
Well, I mean, it's going to be a great game, first of all. And, I actually like the over in this game. And normally I try to shy away from totals, but keep in mind that, I think Clemson, Clemson's going to be challenged by Duke significantly in this game. I have Duke as I have them as 67th in the country in my power rankings. And whenever Clemson plays anybody in the top 25, they can put up a pretty good game, especially at home in particularly. And Clemson, Duke comes off absolutely getting destroyed by Florida State 7-48 as well. So they're going to be absolutely just fired up and ready to go for this game. And their defense isn't the strongest asset, but then again, their offense can certainly come through. This is a team that put up 33 against North Carolina at home, and after that huge emotional win against North Carolina, they went on the road to FSU to just get destroyed 7-48. But they did put up 33 at home to North Carolina. They put up 42 against Virginia. But at the same time, I can't go against Clemson like you were talking about. They had covered now for 5 straight games, and they were public favorites in all 5 games. But I can see Clemson being challenged on the road with their offense, and Duke also putting up their fair share of points as well. Remember, Clemson-Boston College was final score of 45-31. 76 points were scored in that game. So this is almost like an indirect play on Duke, but it's hard for me to go against Clemson. Clemson is a huge public favorite on the road against Wake Forest on Thursday Night Football, and they covered. So sometimes the public does win. So this is an indirect play on that. And for that reason, I like Duke to be an active dog and probably push this game over the total. I could see this game going in the low 70s, so I like the over here.
So that's your official pick is the over. Yeah, I'm kind of agreeing with that. I guess I'm just wondering, they had the emotional win, as you said, against North Carolina. They came and just had nothing against Florida State. And I'm just wondering if that was just a one-game thing, or if they're just all right, we beat North Carolina, it was great, and we're done. We're done for the season.
No, I definitely don't think it's a one game thing. I think because remember Duke can still go to the playoffs or get a bowl game. It's still quite possible for the Blue Devils. They're not, they're at the end of the day they're 6-3 team. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so they're definitely
sure.
going now. They're essentially playing for a better BCS game. And I think after Clemson they got Georgia Tech and Miami. Duke could end up being a 7-win team, maybe even an 8-win team. So this is a big deal for this program. And also I love to fade Clemson whenever they come off allowing 20 points or less. Clemson is actually 4-1 to the over when they allow 20 points or less in their previous game. I don't really trust that defense of theirs. Their offense is certainly solid. And at the same time, Duke is 4-1 to the over, coming off a straight up loss as well, like they are to FSU. Remember, they only put up 7 points against FSU. That's their lowest point total. The last time they put up that low of points was against Stanford. They put up 13 at home. They bounced back and they put up 54 in their next game. So, and Virginia Tech was their previous low total, which was 20. Then they bounced back and put up 33 against North Carolina. So that offense is just itching to score some points. And with them being an active dog, public, fading the public, with the public all over Clemson as well, I can see this going over.
Yeah, I know. I agree with you on the over. I'm not sure how strong. I just feel like I'm just worried that Duke, like you said, they do have a bunch of winnable games coming up, and I think maybe they just think, they can't win this game. So I'm thinking they might just say, screw it, throw in the towel on this game and just get steamrolled like they did against Florida State, and then focus on the next games after this one. So that's what makes me nervous, and that also makes me nervous for the over because if Clemson jumps out to a huge lead and the game's decided, both these teams might just be like, all right, this game's done. Let's just play it out, and the line maybe goes under. So actually, I'm thinking maybe a first half over might even be better. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, first half over makes sense. I mean, it all works out. I think in the end, I think when you get trucked by FSU on the road, I think they're going to be motivated to come, especially at home. You know what I mean? And this is the highest ranked team they have left. So this is pretty much their Super Bowl in many ways. Their Super Bowl was against FSU, but this is kind of like their mini Super Bowl against Clemson, who's still essentially, a top 15 team in the country. So.
Yeah, all right. I guess I would, after that big loss, I would then want to bet on them if they were, facing a team that was more comparable in terms of talent. But I guess I just feel like with Clemson, they might roll over again. But we'll see. Indian Cowboy officially on the over. Great preview, Indian Cowboy, and we'll talk to you next week.